Hi, my name is Nicholas Jackson, and I'm a part-time volunteer presenter on Grampian Hospital Radio, taking listeners back in time every Sunday morning on the GHR. Okay. Hi, my name is Nicholas Jackson, and if you're watching this critique, that means you've seen my documentary, The Sound of Solid Gold, produced for Documentary Discourse and Practice as part of the Year 2 media course at RGU. But what is The Sound of Solid Gold, and how did it come about? What were my planning, production, and post-production techniques? What were the movements and modes of representation employed? Join me as I take you behind the scenes. The Sound of Solid Gold is my documentary focusing on the history of and a day in the life of a volunteer at Grampian Hospital Radio, Aberdeen's local hospital radio service broadcasting to Aberdeen Royal Infirmary, Aberdeen Maternity Hospital and Roxburgh House. I am very passionate about radio, perhaps more so since I started volunteering on GHR, a job I've been doing part-time on Sunday mornings for the past 2 years, taking listeners back in time on the GHR Retro Chart Show. But perhaps the main reason why I chose to produce this documentary is as a form of celebration to commemorate 40 years since Grampian Hospital Radio took to the airwaves in January 1981, while also discussing the ways in which GHR, and the medium of hospital radio as a whole, has continued to thrive against a backdrop of significant technological changes, such as the transition from vinyl records to CDs, analog radio equipment to digital computerized playout systems, and even now as we move increasingly towards on-demand and streaming services such as Spotify. When it came to filming, I was encouraged to film using a DSLR camera borrowed from RGU, but I ultimately chose to film using my iPhone on a tripod, mainly because I was used to filming on my phone after doing it for a year in lockdown, especially this was how I filmed all of my college projects. While filming on my phone worked and ultimately provided clear and high-quality footage, in addition to the tripod providing the opportunity for shooting a variety of interesting and attractive camera angles, I feel that this documentary could have appeared increasingly more professional if I had used a DSLR camera. This is also an issue which I feel should be critiqued in relation to editing. The recommended editing software at RGU is Adobe Premiere Pro. While I have briefly used Premiere Pro for editing film projects at college, I admittedly haven't fully grasped editing techniques using the software. I initially planned to edit my documentary using iMovie on my iPad, as this was how I edited the majority of my films at college last year. However, I ultimately decided to edit using iMovie on iMac, as I felt it would provide a slightly more challenging and slightly more professional editing experience. However, as with filming equipment, I feel that for future projects, Premiere Pro would be the preferred editing software, as it is considerably more professional than iMovie. In terms of documentary movements and modes of representation, I feel my documentary was ultimately a combination of expository and participatory. It is mainly expository as I provided a scripted voiceover discussing the core aspects of the documentary, in addition to an emphasis on the history of my chosen subject, while it is also participatory as I am interacting directly with interviewees through asking them questions about their experience at GHR, in addition to their opinions on the relevance of hospital radio, conducted through filming talking head testimonies, while additionally playing a brief role in the documentary myself as I introduced the subject through a piece to camera. In terms of movements, I feel that the movement that influenced me the most was cinema verite, also known as truth cinema, in which a certain time period or event is documented through naturally flowing footage with authentic dialogue and natural action. In this case, the intended time periods documented in my documentary are particularly Grampian Hospital Radio's founding in 1981 and the evolution of the station into what it is today, using filmed interviews and archived footage to illustrate this. Overall, while it may not be the most professional or visually appealing documentary, I enjoyed the experience of being able to showcase the history and evolution of Grampian Hospital Radio across its first 40 years on air, while also gaining a greater insight into the experience of being a volunteer on the station. While it could have been filmed and edited more professionally, I feel I am proud of the documentary I ultimately produced, celebrating 40 years of Aberdeen's Sound of Solid Gold.